Hello students, it's Quick Watson and I'm back, and this time around I'm back for good. I had to go and attend to other stuff, reason why I left you starving. Sorry, and then I deeply regret and apologize. All right, so yes, it's Elective ICT, digital technology culture. And then for those who don't know me, my email is quickwatsontechies@gmail.com. Web, yes, my free web host, webhostapp.com. So that's my free website. Again, if you say digital technology culture 2 here, it means that there is a digital technology culture 1. And then I told you before I started digital technology culture, I told you that it's broad. So I would like to separate them or divide them. Hence, starting with digital technology culture 1, which I'm done, and then this is digital technology culture 2. So let's get into today's tutorial. If you're a familiar person, then you would know that for every tutorial, I pull up a quote and then I explain it. However, for this quote, it is straightforward and I don't think it needs any explanation. So education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. And then that was said by Malcolm X. So at the end of this lesson, you the student, you should be able to explain e-business and e-commerce, explain e-learning and its types, explain e-health, explain email, explain e-governance, e-business, and e-commerce. So e-business can be defined as an economic activity where individuals or companies engage in buying and selling of goods and services, as well as marketing and providing technical and customer relationship support through the internet. Let me take it again. E-business can be defined as economic activity where individuals or companies engage in buying and selling of goods and services, as well as marketing, providing technical and customer relationship support through the internet. Whereas electronic commerce, e-commerce, on the other hand, is the buying and selling of goods and services through the internet. So when you look at these two things there, that's e-business and e-commerce, you would notice that e-business has a very broad definition, and then electronic commerce don't have a broad definition. Yeah, so this should tell you that there is a slight difference between e-business and e-commerce. So with e-commerce, it is just straightforward buying and selling of goods and services through the internet, whereas e-business goes a little bit to further add some responsibility to the business that the person is engaging in. So before we look at e-business, let's look at traditional business, even a business that you know, a traditional business that is brick and mortar. So by traditional, I'm looking at brick and mortar, a physical building where you enter anytime to transact or conduct a business. So you look at something like the banks. When you walk into the bank, a traditional bank, to create an account, for instance, you'll be greeted by someone whose job is to greet people and then ask them what they are in to do. So this person will ask you what you're in to do, assist you if he or she can, and if the person cannot assist you, he or she will direct you to the appropriate quarters for you to be listened, and if possible, help solve whatever issue you came there with. So you see, with e-business, so when you look at that is what customer relationship support is. You've been assisted in what you came in to do. That is customer relationship support. And then with a technical bit of e-business, let's say you go and then you buy a refrigerator or a dishwashing machine or a clothes washing machine. So you go get this equipment or you go get this device or these devices, and that you don't know how to use this device. So what will happen is that wherever you bought a thing from, either that is if you tell them there that you don't know how to operate it or how to go about it, they will quickly take you through, giving you some tutorials there and then for you to see how it works. They will operate it for you to see how it works. They'll take it, and if possible, they can let someone follow you with their device or the equipment or whatever you went there to buy. And when you get home, the person will also help you to put them together if they need to be put together. So when this is done for you, a technical support has been provided. So with e-commerce, that is with a business side. So with e-business, all these things that you do physically in the brick and mortar shop or organization, you can equally do that online, or that is possible online. So, or using electronic devices. So you no longer have to go to the physical building and then have all these things done for you. At the comfort of your home, wherever you are, you can have this done for you online through electronic devices. So that is what we are looking at as e-business. So you can, the companies engage in buying and selling, and then they go ahead to provide a customer services thing that they do physically. So business to business in e-commerce type of business module is this. So even before I give you the explanation, you should know that business or transaction happens between at least two people. So one person cannot be in business as in you buy and then you sell the product to yourself. So it doesn't happen. At least a business should exist between two people. There is a buyer and there's a seller, or there's a seller and then there's a buyer. So in business to business, we are saying that both the buyer and the seller should be or are business entities. Both the buyer, whoever is buying the thing, and then whoever is selling the thing, both of them should be business entities. So if they are not business entities, or if both are not business entities, you can't term this or their transaction or their model, business model, as business to business. No, both has to be business entities. So what do you mean by business entities? So let's look at this for instance. I'm a mobile money operator, all right? And then there's Vodafone or MTN. The mobile money work that I do alone is business, because I sell scratch card, I do transactions for people, withdrawals and deposits, and other things. You see, so that is business. So that makes me a business entity. Then there is Vodafone, there's MTN, another business entity. Now, when I go to Vodafone to purchase some scratch card, I have transacted a business between myself and Vodafone. And Vodafone being a business entity, and then me being a mobile money operator as a business entity, the transaction that existed between the two of us can be termed as what? Business to business. Because I am a business entity by way of owning a mobile money shop. And then Vodafone is a business organization by way of providing internet and other things. So anything that exists between myself and Vodafone becomes business to business. Another example is a manufacturer who manufactures products, and then a wholesaler. A wholesaler here is someone who goes to buy the product in bulk, in real large quantities, then comes to its place of where it sells the stuff or the product for a retailer. Now, a retailer also buys in bulk. However, a retailer's purchase cannot be compared to that of the wholesaler's purchase. So a retailer comes for some of the products in bulk, then goes to its selling points and sell. You being an individual who goes to buy from the retailer, you're not part of this chain. So what you're looking at, or the people you're looking at here, are the manufacturer, the wholesaler, and the retailer. And all these people are business entities. The manufacturer is in business, reason why they have they produce items in large quantities. The wholesaler is a business entity and is in business, reason why they're going to buy the manufacturer's products in huge or bulk or large quantities. Then the retailer is also a business entity, reason why they came to the wholesaler to get some of the items in large quantities. So all these people are business entities. Hence, the type of business model they deal in is called business to business. Yeah, so the next one is business to consumer. With business to consumer, you're looking at a business person or a business entity providing services or selling goods and services to a consumer. This consumer should not necessarily be a business entity. So this consumer can be you and I, don't owe any own any business. Okay, we are consumers. So a business entity. So you can look at a business entity again as a mobile money vendor or operator, and you, a consumer, you the person going to purchase airtime, do some withdrawals and deposits, or yes, so you the consumer, you can see yourself as someone who goes to this mobile money operator or vendor, purchase airtime, do some transactions like withdrawals or deposits. When you do this, or when this type of transaction or business takes place between the two of you, we are saying that it is business to consumer. Again, you can look at yourself going to a shopping mall to buy some few items there. The shopping mall is a business entity. You, the person, the individual, is a consumer. So the shopping mall there is providing or selling goods and then services, but the shopping mall only deals with goods. So the shopping mall is providing some kind of what services to you. So that shopping mall is a business entity. You, the person, the individual, you are the consumer here. So when you go there to buy, and the shopping mall is able to assist you in what you came there to buy, then what has happened between the two of you can be termed as business to consumer. So with business to consumer, you have a business entity providing services or selling goods directly to a consumer. So yes, you can liken this to you also walking into any shop and then getting biscuits, getting toffee, getting like anything that you go to buy in a shop as a consumer, as you, an individual, is business to consumer. So with business to consumer, services, goods are directly sold to the people, to the individual who should not necessarily own a shop or own a business. No, it can be anybody. Then consumer to business. So with consumer to business, you're looking at you, the individual, offering some services to a business entity. So an individual like myself, an individual like yourself, you happen to be a graphic designer or a website developer. You saw that a new business has been established in your area. Definitely, this business person don't have a logo, don't have a website. So you quickly decided to do some prototyping of logo and website and want to set this business organization or business entity. You went there, you showed them a prototype of what you've done or a sample work of what they are likely to gain if they should go online and then they should use your logo. You show them this, you discuss this at length with them, and finally they agreed to your terms and conditions, hence purchase the logo and the website that you did. Immediately this happens, it is what? Consumer to business. So in this type of business module, the consumer provides all the services to the business people. So they go there, offer their services to this business organization. So when you go, or when you're able as a freelance person, individual is able to provide some service for a business organization or a business entity, that is termed as a consumer to business. You should know that is different from business to consumer. With business to consumer, it is the business entity providing the services to the consumer. With consumer to business, it is the consumer or the individual that is providing the services or these services to the business entity. And then we have the last one to be consumer to consumer. So with consumer to consumer, you're looking at two individuals or two people using a third-party website. So consumer to consumer, you have two individuals who use a third-party website to transact business. So yes, let's say that I have a laptop that I want to sell. I just get onto Natom or Jumia or OLX. I put this laptop there, add the price to it with the hope that someone would see and then show interest. Yes, someone saw the laptop, showed interest, called me, we discuss the price. If I have to reduce it, I reduce it. If I don't have to, discuss all the T&Cs with the person. The person came to the finalization that yes, he would go ahead to buy the laptop. So I had to arrange delivery terms with the person. And then the person has to send my money to me via mobile money or the bank. So when this happens, we see that it is consumer to consumer. This business model is consumer to consumer. From the types of e-business model, you're going to look at the importance of e-business. So one, it has a wider market space, and then I don't think this needs any explanation. Let me just touch it. So it has a wider market space. You are doing the business online. People are glued to their phones. People are online 24/7. So you're going to have what? A wider market space. Unlike you having it physically, the brick and mortar, the physical structure is situated at a particular place. When that happens, it becomes very difficult for people to know about it. The only people who are going to know about it are people within that area and people who happen to pass that place. Finish. And if you are to put in place any marketing strategies, it is going to go wide. However, it's going to reach people who live within, not necessarily within that area, but within some radius in that, should I say, region. So you can put marketing strategies in place, but it's not going to get to a lot of people like you going online, because you going online, it'll even travel outside, and people outside are interested. And if people outside are interested in what you do, they're likely to get customers from that place. There's no location and time barrier. Yes, there's no location and time barrier. So with e-business, 24/7, you're available. Barrier, like nothing happens. It is there 24/7. It's not like the business is in Accra, and then you are in Volta regions. So it becomes very difficult, because looking at what you're going to buy and the transportation the money you're going to spend on transportation, you think you're better off staying and looking for something else to do. Yeah, so all these things become what? Barriers. And then time, you need something so badly, but it's 6 p.m., the thing is in Accra, you can't go and get it. So all these things become barriers. We don't want that. The reason why we have to move online, because with e-business, there's no location. You're doing that thing at the comfort of your home. You're not moving to any place, and then it is there 24/7. It provides customers with more choices that they can select from many vendors and from many products. And this is true. Is that when you move to Jumia like this, you have one product. Like, let's say you want to buy a laptop. You have one laptop. That's laptop sold by many people. So this also controls price hike, because it's not coming from one person. You can't increase your price beyond normal. Nobody will buy it, because there are other choices. You see, but if it was only one person selling it, that person can. That's where monopoly comes in. That person can increase the price or hike the price of the product that he or she is selling, and this doesn't. This is not a good thing. So it is better, or it is okay, that you have a lot of people engaging in the same product to check and balance these prices. So e-business provides that. You will immediately get online, you're going to see a lot of vendors or a lot of people selling the product that you want to buy. So it gives you the choice to select from which vendor you want to buy from. It prevents shoplifting that happens in a traditional business or a traditional shop, and that's a CS ministry for it. You have a physical building, and then you're the only person there, you have overwhelmed. Whatever you deal in is good, yet. So people come there to buy, and you have overwhelmed. A lot of people are there. Before you know it, some people will come and then shoplift what you have. But with the e-business, or e-commerce or shopping online, who's going to pick something online? You get it. I know there are scammers and all of that, yes, but it hardly happens on the website, as in they put that on the website. It happens when you're shopping. So through the shopping, you can be scammed. Yes, that one is there. But as in you lifted something from the website, no, it doesn't happen. So it prevents shoplifting that happens in traditional. So e-learning. E-learning is the acquisition of skills and knowledge through electronic devices such as mobile phones, laptops, and tablets, with or without internet connection, and from the comfort of your home or office. Now, before I go into e-learning, the definition, let us go back to our way of learning without e-learning, our traditional way of learning. Now, so this is what you know as a traditional way of learning. You know, learning to having a teacher stand in front of you and deliver the content. So if it is maths, you have the math teacher in the classroom teaching you. If it is elective ICT, you have elective ICT teacher in the classroom teaching you. Some also take the textbook and learn with or without a teacher's help. All these are good way of learning. The only difference here is that you do all these with the help of technology. So in e-learning, the only difference between what I just described, e-learning, is that with e-learning, you do all the things that I just described with the help of technology. So yes, with e-learning, we are eliminating the teacher be in front of you physically in a classroom. But in e-learning, you can still have the teacher in front of you, but virtually or through devices. So you can't have the teacher, you can't touch the teacher, but you can see the teacher teaching, presenting, doing whatever the teacher is supposed to do. And then this video that you are watching is e-learning. It's e-learning. So yes, with e-learning is acquisition of skills and knowledge through electronic devices such as mobile phones, laptops, and tablets, with or without internet connection is very important, and from the comfort of your home or office. With or without internet connection, e-learning can take place with or without internet connection. You can read some PDF slides on your, or PowerPoint slides or PDF file or doc on your laptop, and you don't need internet to read a PowerPoint slide or a PDF file. So e-learning can take place with or without internet connection. It is very critical and important, and from the comfort of your home or office. So e-learning has some types, and there are two of them. So one is synchronous. By synchronous, you're looking at learning taking place in real time. Learning taking place in real time. Everything is in real time. So with synchronous, meaning the student and the teacher are both present at the same time, but different locations, not necessarily the same location. So the teacher can be in Kumasi, the student can be in Volta region, and learning can still take place in real time. This means that the student gets to see the teacher, gets to hear the teacher talk or present, and the teacher gets to see the student, gets to see the student work on some examples that the teacher has given. Everything happens in real time. It is there and then. So with synchronous, you don't get a chance to say that, okay, I want to pause this and go and come. No, you can't pause, go and come, because it is not there. The teacher is teaching, it's happening. So you can't pause it, go and come and continue. When you leave and come, wherever you go to, you wouldn't come and meet wherever you go to unless you're recording it, and that is different. So with synchronous, the student can say, yeah, you can hear feedbacks, everything happens in real time. It is very much like what happens in the traditional classroom, like you going to the physical classroom, seeing the teacher in front of you, teaching you, asking you questions, you having the chance or the opportunity to ask the teacher questions, the teacher answering, everything happens there and then. Yes, in synchronous e-learning, we are saying that even though we are using the technological device or devices, it happens in real time. You can see the teacher on your device, the teacher can see you, the teacher can ask you questions, you should be able to answer them in real time. You can see what the teacher is writing, like everything happens in real time, there and then. Now the next one or the other one is asynchronous. The asynchronous is just the opposite of synchronous. So what you're looking at asynchronous is this. It doesn't happen in real time. Now with asynchronous, you can pause, go back, and you come back, you press play, and then you continue. So with asynchronous, flexibility is there. With asynchronous, learning at your own pace is there. You decide when to learn, when to pause, when to continue, switch courses, and all of that. So asynchronous is not real time. So this video that you're watching on YouTube now is what? Asynchronous. Why? Because it's not happening in real time. You can pause it, go back, press play, and then you will be there. But if you were synchronous, you can't pause it because it is happening real time. It is going. So immediately you start to go do something, you come back and you're going to miss a whole lot. But with asynchronous, you can pause, come back, press play, and then you continue. You can decide to watch it in the morning. You can decide to watch it in the evening. Nobody cares. So long as you are making some progress. So asynchronous does not happen in real time. Let's look at some importance of e-learning. It is convenient and flexible to access. And then this is true. This is true. E-learning is convenient and flexible to access. It is not difficult at all. It is good for everyone, especially the asynchronous one. You don't get to stress yourself. You can do it anytime you want. You can pause. You can go get other things, come back and continue. So for convenience, it is there. And then it is flexible. It is flexible. It is self-driven and self-paced. It is self-driven and self-paced. Yes, especially the asynchronous. Okay, if you know your learning type as being a slow learner or a fast learner, or visual learner, or auditory learner, or tactile, if you know these things, it helps a lot. It helps you a lot to develop and then be able to learn very well. So knowing your learning type and then using the asynchronous way or e-learning in general helps and then builds you to become a good student because it is self-driven. Nobody is putting a gun to your head. At all costs, finish a particular course, especially the asynchronous. No, you start, you move according to your might or strength. What matters is that you make progress each day. Even if it is one slide, finish it that day. That is the most important thing. So you do it according to your strength or might, self-paced. Learning is available at any time and any day. That is 24/7, and then it's true. And this works for both synchronous and then asynchronous. It's available anytime and any day. That is 24/7. Teacher can say that, okay, at 10 p.m., we are having our first class. At 7 a.m., we are having our first class. Anytime, any day. So long as you have active internet connection, depending on what you are doing, anytime, any day. It is compatible with other life activities in that students can learn as and when they want and follow other passion-driven activities like sports, music, etc. So this is what makes e-learning very good and then very interesting as well because it is compatible with other life activities. Look at you being in a traditional classroom, okay, in a physical classroom. When you go to the class, when you go to school, especially a border, when you go to the school, you don't come back until school vacates or on midterms or something happens, then you come back home. Is it so? If you're having to be a musician or an artist, or you have this talent, you can sing well, or you know how to play football very well, basketball, you name it. It will be very difficult for you to develop these talents or these skills that you have. Why? Because you are in an enclosed environment, and this enclosed environment, a lot of things take place there: entertainment, sports, learning. So you can't focus on the skills that you have. You can't develop that skill. So that is a big blow when it comes to traditional physical learning. But with e-learning, especially the asynchronous way, even with asynchronous, you can still do that, but especially with asynchronous way, it is compatible. Why? With other life activities. So if you are an artist or you aspire to be a musician or a footballer, you can learn while developing these football skills or music skills. How? Learning takes place at your own time. You decide what to learn, when to learn, how to learn with a synchronous way. So you can say that, okay, fine, I would use Thursday, Friday, Saturday to develop my music or football skills or career. Then use Monday, Tuesday, and Sunday to learn. When you're able to schedule your movements or whatever you want to do in this way, you see that you can achieve both at the same time. And this can only happen if you're doing asynchronous. With asynchronous, you just have to pray that the teacher would choose a time that is favorable for you. But even with asynchronous, once the class is over, it's over. You can go do other things or a different thing that you want to do. But when you look at a physical traditional way, immediately you go to school, you are there. It's only the day student that this can favor. But if you're a boarder, you are there. Enclosed environment. Until school vacates, you're not building your music or sports career or talent. We are in to look at e-governance. So electronic governance is a use of information and communication technology to deliver government services through various web applications and standalone systems between government to citizens, government to business, and government to government. So e-governance helps to simplify the sharing of information, speed formerly paper-based processes, and improve the relationship between citizens. And so this is what you're looking at e-governance. You're saying that see e-governance as government using ICT to solve problems and provide services to citizens. That is all. So government provides services in sectors like, so you have the education, you have the transport, you have the health, security, sport, etc. So when you say e-governance, you're saying that government provides services to citizens through ICT, then we are looking at replacing paper-based methods of doing things to an electronic way of doing things. That is what we are looking at. The types of e-governance, we have one to the government to, so with government to business, you're looking at services exchange between business sectors and government. So government uses a government to business or G2B model website to approach business organizations. So you're looking at things like auctions, tenders, and then application submission functionalities. So government providing those services through web applications to business people. So let's say that government wants an app to be developed. Government wants an app to be developed. Government will then have to call for tender. That is, if you have a specialty in mobile apps development and both Android and iOS, you just have to submit some kind of application for government to review, question you on your previous jobs in that same area, the time you took to finish, and all of that. All these things are important, and you should know that you won't be the only person. So a lot of people would tender in their documents and hope that they get to they get the chance, or they are given the go ahead to develop that particular app. So government to citizen, you're looking at government providing services to citizens. And as a citizen, so you have some responsibilities that you're supposed to execute. So like paying your tax, for instance, is a responsibility of a citizen. You don't have to evade taxes. It is not a good thing. But government is supposed to make this process flexible for us so that we don't waste the whole day joining queues just to pay, not just to pay tax is important, joining queues to pay tax is not a good thing. So government should be able to make this process flexible by deploying web applications. So government deploys web applications, citizens would be anywhere they are, then pay tax. And this is something that is happening. Again, to be able to renew my national health insurance, I don't have to walk to the place anymore. At the comfort of my home, or from the comfort of my home, I should be able to renew my national health insurance. All these things are government to citizen, services provided by government to citizen. Again, if I want to apply for passport, I don't have to necessarily walk to passport office and get it done. I should be home via a web application or a web interface, apply for a passport, and then get it delivered to me. When these things happen, you're saying that government have used, or government has used the ICT to deliver services to its citizens. Then government to government. So with government to government, it can happen between government agencies or departments in government. So you're looking at Ministry of Education, Ministry of Sports. Yeah, so department in government can be government to government. But I'm looking at, well, let's look at government to government as let's look at government to government internationally. In the peak of COVID-19, it became necessary that government across the length and breadth of the globe should, as a matter of urgency, make available any data on COVID. Again, scientists across all over the world also decided to work together to get a vaccine. So they were sharing data from one country to the other. Government was also announcing death from one country to the other, people infected, people recovered, and all of that to WHO, that's World Health Organization. These things that happen can be termed as government to government, the international relations there. So government of Ghana or scientists in Ghana being able to work with other people or other scientists in a different country. You should know that the scientists in Ghana are not on their own, they're from the country. So whatever relationship that existed during the COVID between scientists in a particular country and a scientist in a different country happen on a government to government level. You wouldn't see that, but some interaction at that level happened before these scientists were able to work together. Because to work with a different person, you're sharing data, and you're sharing data about your country, and your president or leaders in the country has to be aware of whatever you're sharing. To government to government. Again, purchasing of vaccine also happened on a government to government level. Purchasing of vaccine. You getting a vaccine from a different country is the government of Ghana speaking with government of a different country, that is USA. Friends, so let's look at some importance. So there is simplicity, efficiency, and accountability in governance. So there is simplicity, efficiency, and accountability in governance. So when government decides to employ ICT in everything that it does, there will be simplicity, things will be simple, things will be very efficient, yes. And then accountability will be there. You can hold government accountable because everything is electronic. As and when we have to refer, we just go and refer, and then ask government that you deployed this, you did this, you earmark sums of money, you earmark some monies for this project, this. Where are the projects? What have you gotten to? Where is the money? Because everything is possible. So we can hold government accountable. Efficiency and simplicity is straightforward. There is expanded reach of governance. Yeah, so with e-governance, government will be able to reach a lot of people as against some few people who are situated in the city where the official seat is. But with e-governance, government will be able to reach a lot of people, because if whatever policy that government will bring is rolled out electronically, no matter where you are, you stand to benefit. You stand to benefit. So hence, governance reaching everyone. So there's total reduction in corruption. Of course, there's total reduction in corruption. So with e-governance, there's total reduction in corruption because things do not pass through people. Is the corruption happens when a lot of things or things pass through a lot of people. I want you to get this thing done for me. I want you to do this for me. I want you to do that for me. And then if because you want the person to do it, at all costs, try to give the person something and all of that. That is different from tip anyway. But when you deploy ICT or when you employ ICT, there's total reduction in corruption because everything is happening online. If I have to pay money, I'm paying my tax online. It's not like I want to evade tax and then I'll give the tax officer some money so that they won't come worrying me or disturbing me to pay tax. Is it? But if it's done online, I pay my tax online. Anybody responsible for the collection will just get online and they know that, okay, this person has paid his own tax, this person hasn't paid, this is what you're supposed to do. And then even government or the president himself can ask for access as and when possible to make sure that everything is okay. So when everything is done online, or majority of the things are done online, total reduction in corruption. There'll be total reduction in corruption. And then there'll be high transparency, very high. Everything will be clear. There wouldn't be any hidden stuff. Everything will be clear. No comment will be over. And there is efficient allocation of resources. Yes, there's efficient allocation of resources. If ICT is employed or deployed, we would know that this particular region or this particular town lacks A, B, C, D. Hence, the need or the urgent need to go there and then have the basic amenities that they need there done for them. Because ICT e-health. So the World Health Organization, who defines health as a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. E-health is the use of information and communication technology in the improvement and delivery of healthcare services. I think this is straightforward, so let's just move into the importance. So there's enhancement in privacy and security of patient data. When ICT is employed or deployed in the health sector, there is enhancement in privacy and security of patient data. Now, patient data will not be in a folder or on a piece of paper. It will be stored electronically. So if you're saving something important like this, you surely would have a security login, details, or credentials. So it's only people who know these or have been assigned these credentials who can log in and see the data of the patient, as against having it in a folder and then putting it in a place that anybody at all can go or chance on, hence see this data of the patient, which is not appropriate. So there is enhancement in privacy and security of patient data. And there is improvement in management of medications, yes, because everything is done electronically, as against a doctor writing medications on paper, and the majority of the times you won't even see what the person has written. If you're not careful, out of negligence, not even negligence, if you're not careful, you're likely to administer a wrong drug to the patient, and you kill the person. So with ICT, all medications about the patient is online or is electronically saved or stored. So the only thing you have to do is to key in the person's name. That is, if you have the appropriate credentials to do that, key in the person's name and access everything about the person, when last he or she was administered a drug, when last he or she was checked on, and all of that. You can see that and then quickly do what they're supposed to do, which is better than a doctor writing on the paper, which most of the times we don't see, and ending up giving wrong drugs to patients or to people. There's reduction in length of stay due to improved operational efficiency. Yes, so when you get to the OPD side, even picking food alone is not an easy thing. You have to join queues. I think it's been a long time since I went to the hospital and joined OPD. But yes, previously, you just have to be in a long queue to pick a folder, and then to be listened to and be directed to the appropriate folder. But with ICT, you don't have to go search the folder, or you don't have to go search the folders alphabetically to look for my name. No, I just have to give you my details, probably an ID or my name, for you to just key in and then get me everything that I need. And this can happen within some seconds, as against combing through tall folders and locating a particular person. It enables quick access to patient records for more coordinated and efficient care. And yes, this is important. I'm a doctor. The doctors, we do run on shifts, or medical personnel do run on shift, not all of them anyway. So I come in the morning, came to look at a particular patient, written what I have to write on the paper, I'm gone. What if this paper cannot be found? What if this paper has been misplaced? Then it means that the next person on duty would find it very difficult to know what the doctor did and where to continue from. But if everything is done electronically, coordination will be there. I can check what my previous colleague did, where he got to, things he touched, things he didn't touch, and then I can take it from there. So it enables quick access to patient records for more coordinated, efficient care. Again, if I visited the hospital with a particular condition, and then I have to visit the hospital again with a different condition, my past summary of whatever I came there to do would be there. So just by a click of a key in of my ID, the doctor will know that, okay, you came here last month, last 2 months, last year with this condition. And then you say what is happening to you. I explain, the doctor will be like, okay, this is what is happening to you, this is what is happening to you, and all of that. So coordination is there. And then the doctor will be able to take care of me very well, as against having no previous knowledge or previous background to base his or her expertise in recommending drugs for me, it helps in securely sharing electronic information with patients and other clinicians. There's improvement in communication between the patient and the clinician. Email. Email is a message that may contain text, files, images, or other attachments sent electronically through a network to an individual or group of individuals. So a typical email message has 4 basic elements: header, message, signature, and attachment. So electronic mail. So to understand email, let's look at the snail mail. So to understand email, let's look at snail mail. So snail mail is sending letter via the post office. That is snail mail. So when you write your letter, you specify recipient address and a title for the letter. When you're done, you move straight to the body, and once you're done, you sign off with your name and then signature. So this is not different from email, because with email, you need to specify where the email is going to, the recipient. This also affords you the chance or the opportunity to add other people by way of CC or BCC. There's carbon copy or blind carbon copy. With CC, it means that others will see that you have sent that same email to different people. So with BCC, you can send the message to other people, but they wouldn't see that you sent the message to other people. So that's the difference between carbon copy and then BCC or CC and BCC. When you finish, you need to add a subject to prompt the person, or whoever receives the email would know what the email is about, because it's a subject that appears in the person's mail. So the subject is very important. When you finish, you get to the body of the message, the actual message, you put it there, and then you attach whatever you have to attach or whatever you want to attach. You sign off with kind regards, best regards, thank you, and all of that. Then you send the email. So that is basically email. So the addresses. So the addresses are the part that we have. Email. So the address. Email messages typically display the addresses of the intended recipients of the email and anyone else who is to receive a copy of the email. That is carbon copy or BCC, blind carbon copy. The subject, a one-line description used to represent the topic of the message. Subject lines typically are displayed when a person checks his or her mail box, like I said. Message. So this is the body of the email. Whatever message you want delivered is written there. Signature. The signature identifies the sender. This information may include the sender's name, address, and telephone number. For many business communications, the signature also includes a sender's company name, address, and telephone number. So you sign off neatly. So yes, an example. I sent an email to my students on an assignment that they did for me called ICT work on form. So when they came home, I had to send their work to them. So this section is a subject. So this is a subject. Now, this is where you put the address. So the recipient's address is this. Then the body of the message. So the whole thing here, so this place is the body of the message. Then when you come here, this is the signature. This is the signature. Now, this is also part of the signature. All these things are also part of the signature. All these things, they are part of the signature. With a signature, you can manually do it there, or if you manually do it, then it means that every now and then, or for every email, you have to put it there. But there's a way to do it, which I'm likely to do a new video on how to go about it, or you can quickly Google them, and then you get it. It's very simple, straightforward to do, to add your signature. Just Google how to add signature to emails, and you're good to go. So I didn't get a screenshot of the attachment that I added. But yes, you can add an attachment, and then for this I added attachment. I didn't get a screenshot, my bad. So, but basically, yes, this is what you're going to see as email. You have the subject, you have the recipient's address, you have the body, then you sign off with. So let's look at some importance of email. It is fast and convenient, hence saves time easily. It is very fast as against going to the post office, writing each letter one after the other. If you want to send to a lot of people, it means you have to write this letter to all these people. But with email, you just have to add the addresses and you send it once. So it's as fast and convenient and saves time. It serves as a platform for saving relevant document messages or files. And this is very true and then very important. So with email, when you have email, unless you are inactive, completely inactive for 2 years, then Google, I don't know if they've changed their terms and conditions again, but yes, what they sent to me some years, I think last year or last 2 years, was that if you are inactive for 2 years, then they will delete you from their server. Apart from that happening, whatever message you have over the years still remains. So it helps you. You're able to track messages, communications that you've done over the years with someone, and then get abreast with what is happening. So it serves as a platform for saving relevant document messages or files. They stay there until you don't have any need for them. Then you go ahead to delete them. Even when you delete them, it stays in your bin for 30 days before finally it gets cleared. So yes, it's a very good place to save or to track messages. A very good place. It helps you track. It helps you keep track of important discussions over a period of years. Yeah. It enables companies to convey information to large amounts of employees, customers, and potential customers because you can add addresses, so many of them, and then send as one. So it's not like you have to write this message for this person, write that message for this person, write, go to the post office and post all of them. With this, you can target the people you want to target. You send an email to you, and then it is accessible anywhere in this world where internet is active, hence no location barrier. That's straightforward, right? All right, so students, thank you very much for staying with me. And like I said, I'll try my very best, possible best, to be consistent with this video tutorials that I'm doing. Yes, I'm putting up, let me say I'm writing the book, and then I hope to finish very soon on Elective ICT. So yes, I'll try to combine the two. I wouldn't give all the attention to the book, though it is very important, and this is equally important. So I would try to divide my attention and be consistent with this. I'm sorry, and then I thank you very much for not leaving me, still staying with me, and continue to stay with me. Try the hands-on best. So define a list for importance of the following: email, e-governance, e-learning, e-health. You should know that there is digital technology culture 1, and then this is the final one, digital technology culture 2. Do check the description of the videos that I do post. It contains useful information. I would upload the slides, get you a link, and I'll put everything in the description. So kindly check for me. All right, thanks for watching. Next tutorials will be on computer hardware. Subscribe and keep the channel active. Thank you very much, and it's bye for now.